It looks like maybe some of you enjoy standing. But if you do want to sit down, there is some chairs, or we can get some from the back. Does anyone need a chair that would like to have a chair? Ladies? Any? Miss Amy? Okay. All right. Okay. We're going to start by an opening prayer. I would have Brandon Hillenberg do it, but his mic's not working to the whole room. So I'm going to let James or Matt decide who's saying the prayer. All right. And then after that, the Pledge of Allegiance will be by our group tonight, 5th grade Arrow of Light, Pack 205. So I guess, would you come to the front? Yeah. And then once we get done with the prayer, we'll start the pledge. Thank you.
Please bow with me. Father, we come to you tonight asking for your insight and wisdom to make the proper decisions we need to make. As we represent our community, we ask that you be with each of us as we go our separate ways. When we go from this place tonight, help us to be the best that we can be to make disciples for your Son, who I ask in his name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pack 205. Let's give it up for them. Looks like we have an actor in the group.
Check, check, check.
Roll call, please, Tammy.
Long.
Here.
Red.
Here.
Hillenberg. Here. Coe. Reed.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
Wayman.
Here. We have 6 present, 1 absent. Next item is I'm lucky enough to present a mayoral proclamation to Dr. Floyd A. Shirley. If he could come up. We'd like to present a mayoral proclamation to you for all your years of service to the city of Cabot, and we really do appreciate it. Whereas Dr. Floyd A. Shirley has provided medical care and compassion for the citizens of the city of Cabot for decades, and whereas Dr. Shirley has served over 30 years providing pre-employment physicals to the police and fire departments, and whereas Dr. Shirley has served as a city of Cabot medical examiner for many years, overseeing the naloxone, it's a big word for me, program for the past 5 years, and the city of Cabot's police and fire departments are appreciative of the service Dr. Floyd A. Shirley has given to our city for many years. So now, therefore, I, Ken Kincaid, Mayor of the City of Cabot, do hereby recognize Dr. Floyd A. Shirley in the City of Cabot as a caring citizen, a good friend, and a great man. Thank you so much, Doc. Took your phone? Uh-huh. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, the next item we have tonight is, y'all are ready for it, aren't you? Matt Weber, do you want this mic, or which mic do you want? Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Most of you are familiar with the many programs and projects that the nonprofit Cabot City Beautiful does for our town. But for those of you that may not be familiar, some of the things that CCB does is the Arbor Day ceremony, the hazardous waste collection event, Yard of the Month program, farmers market, We've done the Christmas parade for a long time, and we also run the Santa house that sits out by Walmart. One of the projects that City Beautiful does is the annual Cabot Cleanup Days. Each year, we invite volunteers to come out and help us with a citywide litter pickup. But we also try to incorporate a teaching opportunity working with Cabot schools by sponsoring the Keep Cabot Beautiful poster contest, and that's for grades kindergarten through 4th grade. We ask teachers to urge the students to include themes like beautification, recycling, litter prevention, basically anything that encourages everyone to help us keep Cabot looking good, both for our citizens and our visitors. Before I go on, I would like to introduce our treasurer, Cabot City Beautiful, Shelby Glover. She could come up and help me with this, and the mayor's going to help me also. Normally, we do these awards presentations at Cabot Cleanup. Unfortunately, we had to cancel our most recent event, so I reached out to Mayor Kincaid and asked about possibly doing this at an upcoming city council meeting, and he graciously agreed to put it on tonight's agenda. So it was very, very nice, and thank you again, Mayor. As in past years, we received a huge number of entries. While we love the participation rate, you can imagine the difficulty in the judging with so many posters, and this year wasn't any different. It was very fierce competition. So as I introduce each of the artists, I'm going to ask that the parents come up with that child, as well as their teacher, if their teacher is here. And each winner receives a certificate, a trophy, a $25 gift card, and their framed poster. And their teachers receive a $25 gift card to A+ Teaching Supply Store. So here we go. Kindergarten, Miss Emma Chapman. And her teacher is Nick Hancock at Southside Elementary. Got her poster? Very, very good, Emma.
Ready?
Go ahead, Shelby.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good job, Emma.
And we'd like to take a group picture when everybody's done getting their awards, so if you could hang around for a second. First grade is Sawyer Vaughn, and that's Miss Bridget Furman from Stagecoach. Good job, buddy.
You want me to give this to Mom?
He's taking the money.
I guess I give that to Mom. And here's his poster.
I think he wants your seat, Mayor.
You want to take a picture of everybody? Look at that camera.
All right, congratulations, Sawyer. He gone. He got his money. He gone.
He said you take it.
Yeah, you take it. Okay, second grade is Clemmy Evans, and her teacher is Miss Mindy Wilson at Magnus Creek.
All right, you ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Smile. All right, great smile.
Good job, Clemmy. Third grade goes to Addison Baker, and she's at Stagecoach, and her teacher is Miss Furman as well. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Look at that.
Lots of colors.
Ready? 1, 2. Oh, wait. You gonna get in there, buddy? Right here. Smile. 1, 2, 3.
And last but not least, fourth grade goes to Lennon Betzold. He's at Stagecoach as well. And Miss Furman, don't go away. All the teachers support this program well, but you may hear Miss Furman's name quite often because she really helps sponsor this and supports us.
All right. You want to get, there we go. Awesome. Ready? 1, 2, 3, smile.
Congratulations to all of the winners. And like I said, it was pretty fierce competition. It took us, what, about an hour? Over an hour to judge all of the posters. So, and we would like I said, to get a group picture, sorry. I guess if we could get everybody over here against this wall and get a picture real quick, and then I'll go ahead and hand the mic back to. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Let's go ahead and give it up again for these children. Hey, y'all need to keep drawing. We have a big art walk. We're going to have so many buildings to paint. We're going to need you. Good job, baby. You hear me? Good job. Pretty cool. Sorry, Brandon, you couldn't see any of that, but you missed out some great artwork. We'll send you pics. Sounds good. Thank you, sir. Okay, if you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you're welcome to leave if you'd like, because we do have some leaving, so don't feel like you have to stay, but we'd love to have you. So I will not be offended. Okay, next item is our approval of our minutes for September 12, 2022.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
I got a motion from Stephen, a second from James, to approve the minutes of September 12, 2022. Any additions, corrections, changes? Seeing none by council, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Long,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Ellenberg. Yes. Cole, sorry, absent. Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Wayman.
Passes 6-0. Next item, read ordinances and resolutions by title only.
I'll make a motion that we read resolutions by title only. Second.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Motion by James, second by Ron, to read ordinances and resolutions by title only. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy?
Long,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg. Yes. Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Wayman.
Yes.
Passes 6-0. Next item is City Council old business. Council, I don't have anything on the agenda. Do y'all have something that you want to add that we might have forgotten? Seeing none, we'll move to City Council new business. Our first item is ordinance number 27 of 2022. Please, Tammy.
Ordinance number 27 of 2022, an ordinance to rezone 31 South Pine, City of Cabot, Lonoke County, Arkansas, from R-2 to C-1, amending the land use plan and for other purposes. First reading.
Okay. Laura, nothing? Okay. Next item, item B, ordinance number 28 of 2022.
Ordinance number 28 of 2022, an ordinance to rezone 33 South Pine, City of Cabot, Lonoke County, Arkansas, from R-2 to C-1, amending the land use plan and for other purposes. First reading.
First reading stands. Next item is resolution number 51 of 2022.
Resolution number 51 of 2022, a resolution approving the appointment of Larry Tarrant to the Cabot Parks and Recreation Commission and for other purposes.
Make a motion, we approve Resolution 51 of 2022.
Second.
I got a motion from Matt, a second from Stephen, to approve resolution number 51 of 2022. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy?
Long,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg. Yes. Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Wayman.
Yes.
Passes 6-0. Next item, resolution number 52 of 2022. Please, Tammy?
Number 52 of 2022, a resolution expressing the willingness of the City of Cabot, Arkansas to utilize federal aid surface transportation program funds.
Make a motion we adopt resolution number 52 of 2022.
I'll second.
I got a motion from Ed, a second from James, to adopt resolution number 52 of 2022. Any discussion? See none, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy?
Weber,
Yes.
Wayman,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg. Yes. Reed,
Yes.
Passes 6-0. Last item, resolution number 53 of 2022. Please, Tammy.
number 53 of 2022, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk treasurer to enter into an agreement with J.D. Ashley Senior Family LLP and for other purposes.
I'll make a motion we adopt Resolution 53 of 2022.
I got a motion from James to adopt 53 of 2022.
Second.
I got a second from Ed. What this is, council, and I think we've talked to you about it before, but basically the Dakota Street extension that goes from basically Freddy's or Main Street all the way to Locust. That's the last item we've got to obtain right away to get that road done. So this will complete all the easements that we need to complete that road. Is not correct, Brian? That's correct.
Are we getting the complete parcel, or is it just that shaded, lighter shaded area?
We're getting the light shaded area only, correct?
That's all
Yes.
we need for
Yes.
easement for the road, yeah.
Yep. Yep. And we had it appraised as well. Come on back up. Just to let them know we went through all the loops.
Yeah, the property appraised for $81,000, and he's graciously agreed to sell it to us for less than appraised value at $75,000.
Yep.
Obviously, I think it'll improve the value of his remaining parcel, but he's been negotiating with Joe in previous months, so this has been an ongoing thing. This is kind of the final step.
Yeah, it's our last piece to begin that road. And we already have everyone ready to go.
Great, that'll be a good addition.
Any other questions? I hope that explained it all, but that's basically what it is. Okay. Any from the audience? Yeah, go ahead. Sir? No, this is just for this resolution. Okay, all right. Seeing no other questions or comments on resolution number 53 of 2022, can I get a roll call vote, please, Tammy?
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Wayman,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Gilliver.
Yes.
Thank you. Passes 6-0. Now is time for community input, and you may say or ask anything you'd like, within reason, of course. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What this is, council, I'm about to send it down to you, is the proposed apartments that are going in on St. John, and he's circled the two entrances in and out of St. John. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, I don't like speaking publicly.
Could you state your name for the record?
Bruce Glover.
Okay.
I live over on Collins.
There you
I'm
go.
not very good with public speaking, but I'll try to get this through as quickly as possible. As you said, this is about the apartment building over behind the Dollar General, Highway 367 or 2nd Street. There was a rezoning request brought to the City Council a while back to rezone that for apartments.
Okay.
At that time, the owner of the property and their representative came before the City Council with that plat, and the City Council took a vote and said they would not allow that to go through as long as the entrances came out on St. John Street. That was too much traffic to put into that neighborhood, and the City Council voted no. They weren't going to do it. So it was declined. Recently, last week, clearing started on St. John Street. Big track over there. Trees are coming down. It's a mess. It's going to look all right. I called the mayor, a couple of city council members, and was told, well, it may be drainage. Well, I went down to the planning office and took a picture of that plat and was told that was the approved final plat for that area with the entrances on St. John Street that this city council said they were not going to allow. And what I'd like to know is, how did it happen? Is it going to continue over the city council's vote? And what can we do about it? I'm not arguing about the apartments at all. I'm arguing about 160-something cars, maybe a day times 2, dropping off on St. John, which is a small street to begin with. And with the left turn lane put on the Sonic, we're getting a lot of cut-through traffic there too, people trying to avoid playing the switcheroo game on the lanes. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Glover, I don't know if legal has that information in front of them. Did this have to be rezoned, Laura? It didn't have to be rezoned, so it wouldn't have came before council, correct? It would only came before planning, Mr. Glover. City council didn't see this portion or this project. Only planning commission
Well, it
did.
was brought here the first time, that's why y'all denied it.
Okay. I think the first time was they wanted a rezone, and we wouldn't allow the rezone, so they came back with something else. Maybe Laura can speak more precise on the subject.
The property was rezoned to R4M, which is residential multifamily, in 2018. So that's what City Council approved back in 2018. When the apartments came to the Planning Commission, they came in October of last year and got the approval for their site plan to build the apartments, with the 2 entrances on St. John Street.
When they brought that to the city council, the rezoning is not question. When that was brought to the city council said no to that plat that had those entrances and exits on St. John. Somehow they got back through there. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, and I very much respect your question. As mayor, I've been here since 1/1/19, and I don't remember ever seeing it at council. Like she said, it came in 18 to get rezoned, and then it went to planning in 2021. But the council didn't see it. Ben, did we talk about this in council or anything that? I just want to make sure we get all this right. Then we'll get you anything you need to know, of course. But yes, sir.
The city council members, they said they remember voting no, and we continued to.
Traffic control was the issue that it wasn't turned down at that point. And then it has to regenerate itself and come back to the planning commission. So it was right. That's what was turned down by the city council. It was approved the planning. He 100% correct.
So what Ed just said was absolutely correct. The council denied it, so they then went, they proceeded with a plan where rezoning was not required. Now, I don't know what happened in 2018. I can tell you the Planning Commission is an independent commission. You can't tell the Planning Commission where to put driveways. There may have been discussion that happened. I'll leave it to those who were on the commission if you remember that. There may well have been discussion that happened, but you guys have seen a lot of rezoning ordinances, none of them talk about driveways. Because when you rezone property, you don't tell the Planning Commission where to put driveways. That's not your job. We have an independent commission who does that. So I completely believe there may have been discussion about it, but that ordinance that was passed wouldn't have talked about driveways, because that's not your role in rezoning. We have an independent commission.
The plat was presented to us. It came before the council 2 or 3 different times, and each time we were not getting all the information. And one of the things that we were not getting and was not being furnished to us by the project engineer, was traffic control. And we insisted and insisted and insisted the 3rd time that some type of preliminary idea about traffic control was presented to us, and they did. And then you're right, but it was a preliminary. This is what we're going to do with it. One of the entrances was going to come out on the curve up there at St. John. The other one's going to come out down there offset from Collins by about 60 feet or so, something along those lines. And there was a long discussion dealing with traffic. Can you do anything else with? And because of that, we didn't approve it. Yeah. We just flat didn't approve it.
Yeah. So.
And, that's what happened. And now they've gone back and reworked it and redone some densities and those kinds of things where that we didn't have to see it again or anything, and Planning Commission handled it. So, and
as long as the Planning Commission wasn't overstepping their bounds, which they weren't, to be honest, there's really no action for the council to take. That's the good and the bad of an independent commission. When you're an independent commission, you act independently.
So what can Mr. Glover do?
Reach out to the Planning Commission. Though I think, to be frank, Laura might be able to update us. I think it's closed in front of the Planning Commission. If it's finalized in the Planning Commission, there is nothing else to be done. Yeah, if it's closed in front of the Planning Commission, as long as they're the ones that had that final say, so if it's done, then it's done. There's no further action to be taken. But they are an independent commission. You guys can't really, it's not something where the council can really take action on it.
I can tell you this, Mr. Glover, that we're set to bid the Elm Street extension at the first of the year. So that will take off a lot of traffic off your neighborhood once we extend Elm all the way to 8th Street. So that cut through back in your property is going to hopefully go away and not used as much when they can turn at the street and go straight through and have a straighter shot to get to the other side of town or wherever they're going. And so I think that's going to help. I know that doesn't help you right now with this, but go ahead. Don't.
Mr. Glover's correct. Collins is not aligned with St. John. It's offset. It's about a 20-degree offset. It doesn't come in at a 90-degree angle like you think streets would. It's an offset, and it's a pretty good little dip there and everything, and it is just an absolute travesty, and has been. And then you go on down to St. John, and St. John is misaligned with 2nd Street, the same way that Ritchie Road was. And we were fortunate enough to get that realigned and made that a little bit better down there. But Collins has always been, St. John and Collins has always been, and Mr. Glover, I know that he's going to agree with me on this, has always been a shortcut from 89 over there on 10th Street. They come down 10th and barrel down St. John's and then down Collins to pass all the downtown traffic and everything. And it's just an absolute horrible, horrible mess. Now, I said all of this the last time this was before the city council. I'll stand by it again. You know, it's just going to be a complete travesty over there for us unless something is done on St. John's. I don't know what restrictions, if any, was put on St. John's. I know they're going to probably have to do half-street improvements. But that's, you know, it's just an absolute mess. I am completely and totally, absolutely disappointed in it. I just really am.
Well, another thing, Mr. Glover, we right 367 right in front of St. John's. When RDOT actually finishes the paperwork, that's when we'll come to City Street. So we'll own a mile of 367 from downtown Light going south on 367. So once it becomes a city street, then maybe we can do something with that ditch and fix that road. And Paul, if you would get with half and see if they can get something in design, because that is going to be our street, then we won't have to go through RDOT, and maybe we can do something across that ditch.
Mayor, it took $460,000 15 years ago to realign Ritchie Road. And it's the same project. It's got to be done there. It'll take $1 million or better to do it, or I'm not sitting in this chair.
It could be, but at least we can get the drawing and submit for a grant, you know, with safety or safe route or regional trails or something. But at least we can have a plan. I agree with you, but we can try. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Glover. I'll look into it for you. Any other people like to go ahead, sir?
My name is Steve Holmes. I also live in the same neighborhood. I have sent an email off to Mr. Ed Long. He responded graciously last night. Thank you very much. I live right next door to Mr. Glover. I am 3 houses from that intersection. My little girl, she goes to school. She catches the bus a block away. The other morning, there's traffic that comes down Collins Street to bypass Second Street and to bypass a lot of they're in that same neighborhood. St. John Street has a lot of traffic coming down it in the mornings. Adding those entrances to St. John Street is going to be catastrophic to the traffic in that neighborhood. I want you to imagine 120 cars leaving out of that intersection in that neighborhood every single morning whenever there are school kids that are trying to catch onto the buses. That is a safety hazard that is not, that all it's going to take is one child to get hit. And you're going to wish that you would have done something tonight. So I implore you, please, go to the Planning Commission and tell them to take those entrances off of St. John Street. We can't have it. It'll be bad for this city. It'll be bad for the kids in the neighborhood. We can't have safety issues like this going on. And I just don't want to, I don't want any of our kids to have any safety issues just trying to go to school. They have it, there's too many things that are going on also in that neighborhood that there's a lot of people cutting through that neighborhood, as Mr. Glover was talking about and Mr. Long was talking about, to get around the traffic in that area. So with all of the traffic that we have there now, plus 120 more cars in the morning, 120 more cars at night, that is going to be more than what that little street can handle. There's no sidewalks. There's only a drainage ditch. And then there's yard. That's it. During the snow, during the ice, cars go off into that ditch. I've went down and I've helped get people out of that ditch. So something has to be done. And the entrances should not, in my opinion, take place on St. John Street. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to address the council? Seeing none, council, do you have anything to address?
Mayor, I just want to wrap my part of this up on that.
Yes, sir.
That is my ward over there. I have probably received somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10 or 12 emails, 3 or 4 phone calls, and a couple text messages dealing with it. I will say this categorically. Like these two gentlemen have said here tonight, I have not had one person in that say they were against the project, against the apartments. Not one. But every one of them thinks that the traffic control measures are non-existent over there with those apartments leading in and out. There's not one person, categorically not one, that has gotten a hold of me and said, I don't want those damned apartments over there. Not one. That's not been the issue. Every one of it has been complete, total safety issues dealing with the entrances coming in on St. John's. St. John's is not wide enough now for 2 cars to pass. You have to have 2 small cars to pass. You take a pickup truck like Matt's in my car, can't get around them. Somebody's going to have to pull off in somebody's ditch to get around. That is the truth. And that ditch there, that deep ditch over there by Dollar General, that intersection there is as black as night. There is no light on it at all, period. And we have had 2 or 3 different times a couple of people that live down at the apartments that by the parks that have those little go-kitties that they come up to Dollar General to get dive off in those things. I don't know how many times we've had to pull people out of that. It's just going to be an absolute nightmare if something is not done. And it will cost the city a ton, an absolute fortune to fix that down through there. And it's just, I think it's just poor management. And I don't say that much about this city because I love it. But that was a mistake in my opinion.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is the developer of that complex, the apartment complex, is that the same developer or property owner that owns all the way out to 2nd Street? As far as, I don't know, it used to be referred to as the Knox property, so
I don't
know.
think so.
Oh, I was just wondering if an alternate drive could be put in, such as, you're shaking your head no, I'm thinking the Chapel
think
Ridge
that was-
driveway, if something could be put in.
I think all that
was talked
asked.
about whenever it was turned down on city council, was running just one entrance over to Chapel Ridge and run it down through there. That was asked to be done then. And, you know, and I mean, and then here we are. It's, I don't know. I don't know. I'm frustrated about it. I'm
Well, I wasn't on
disappointed. I'm
council then, so I'm
heartbroken.
not sure, but I just was kind of shooting from the hip, thought maybe that might be a,
So Ben, there's
alternate.
nothing the council can do? Okay. Just want to make sure again. Mr. Glover, it's okay we keep this since we set it for the record? So you got to put it in the record. Yes, sir.
Mayor, could I,
Go.
the sidewalk improvements and the beltway that we're looking at for Elm Street area, that's the same pathway that we're going to be doing for the Elm Street extension, isn't it?
Yeah, it should take a lot of traffic off their neighborhood, is
Can
what I
I
was telling Mr. Glover.
Just share, I can give him
Yep,
a copy
of
of
course.
this, that'll give him an idea.
Elm Street's going to end at 10th Street.
Yeah, but that's what everyone shoots around for, to get to 10th Street.
Yeah, they hit 10th Street, come right down St. John's, right down Cabot. So we're just going to run down Elm Street to hit 10th Street, to come down 10th Street, St. John's, Cabot.
Why would they go back through St. John Collins? Because to get around, because there's no other way to get around.
It's better now than what it was, and I think Mr. Glover will agree with that. But whenever all of the ball fields and everything was down on Ritchie Road, man, that was something else then. And now, you know, we've helped that a little bit and got some of it off, and we put speed bumps in over there, which helped a little bit. But they're gone. The speed bumps did slow them down a little bit coming around the curve there at St. John, but now speed bumps are gone. So I don't know. I don't know.
Because we're doing a project over there. Anything else, James?
I do recall this when it was originally brought to us, and the reason we denied it was because of the loading, the amount of, they were asking for high density, which was going to put a lot more vehicles in there, and that's what we denied when, even though Planning Commission referred it to as an approved project, we denied it at this project because of the number of cars. But it was already zoned to handle medium density, so they just fell back to what they were previously zoned. That's the reason we didn't see it again. And hoping that the half-street improvements and the widening of the much, much wider entrances would give buses a better entrance in. That's what I remember from it.
Yeah, it sounds like they just circumvented the will to get the property sold, and because they knew where the negatives were, so they worked around those. With the new planning commission, and the current council is not the same as it was back in 18. So
That's correct, and the loading was a lot lower, and that property was already zoned to handle the medium density. So it didn't have to go through an approval process once it was already at medium density. And it was consistent with the other areas all around it.
okay. Stephen, Ron, Tammy. Nope. Anyone else have anything to add before we adjourn? Mike?
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. I just want to let everybody know this Saturday at 805 West Main, the old Price Cutter building at the back of the building. Our national partners have donated over 60,000 pounds of food we're going to give out to the public between 8 and noon on Saturday. So we'll have over 60,000 pounds of dog food and 44 pallets of dog beds we're going to be giving away. The fire department will be out there to help me give them away between 8 and noon. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mike. Anyone else? Seeing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Got a motion from James, second from Matt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Adjourned at 7:15. Thank you, Brandon. Thanks, Ken. Good to see you.